This conference will now be recorded.
Recording begins now. We'll jump right into the presentation. All right. So we're going to do some welcome and introductions. I just did a little bit of that. Um, the purpose of this investment, what our funding priorities are, and then Taiwan will go into applicant eligibility, performance measures, submission requirements, so kind of the mechanics of this whole process, timeline, and then we'll open it up for questions and answers. Sound fair? All right, let's get ready. All right, so we are working with, in cooperation with our generous mayor, Catherine Pugh, in the city of Baltimore to offer these funds for expanded youth opportunities in the city. We want to make sure that young people have real, relevant, and engaging activities to prepare them for the future, but also to make good use of their time and out of income. All right. OST programs, like I just said, provide students with the opportunity to explore new ideas, build new schools, find new skills, find new talents, and experience success. So, many of you are used to submitting proposals. This is a requested application, so it's not a narrative proposal that you'll be writing. You'll be answering the same questions as you would in a proposal, only in an application format. So we want to expand OST programming in Baltimore City in community-based locations. So, okay, moving back to the middle. I'm coming. So we just reviewed some of the purpose of this investment through the generosity of the mayor, and with the purpose to expand opportunities for youth across the city. The Family League invests heavily in community schools and out-of-school time programs within those community schools. This particular investment is for community-based locations. So we fund comprehensive programs. That means that your program operates at least 12 hours per week, serves snack and supper, does academic support, physical activity, so on and so forth. This funding will support that type of program as well as a specialized program. So if you have a sports specific, a chess club, or anything that is not your traditional after-school programming. So $1.6 million of this investment will improve outcomes for young people. Particularly, we are serving young people ages in grades K to 8, but as well as giving some priority for older youth in the city. Of this investment, $440,000 of it is for programs operating and serving young people, particularly in the Park Heights footprint. And
coming out at 1.6?
Yes, ma'am. Special priority is given, of course, to programs serving underserved and under-resourced communities. All right. Oh, come on in. All right. Our priority areas are any programs that are focusing on violence reduction as the outcome, programs located in and serving youth in Baltimore City. I just mentioned, while we prioritize older youth, that does not negate programs serving younger youth from applying and receiving grant awards. In particular, those programs serving older youth that will foster learning and awareness in money management, health and hygiene, healthy relationships, self-awareness, and conflict resolution. We are looking for programs that serve youth with unstable housing. Many of these young people in these two areas are commonly referred to as opportunity youth. So if that's who you're serving, this funding prioritizes those young people. And then programs that can demonstrate accountability to meeting the needs of youth and the needs of neighborhoods. This PowerPoint, I see some of you taking pictures. Hopefully I'm not captured in them. But this PowerPoint will be available on the website.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, everyone on the call, the PowerPoint slides aren't moving. All we see is the cover page of the presentation.
Thank you for that. We'll address that in just a moment.
Okay, thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
I'm covering the content on the slides pretty heavily, and so if you can't see it right now, rest assured that the PowerPoint will be made available to you, and we'll address it. But if you can't see it, hopefully, if you're taking notes, and then you'll get a copy of it afterwards off our website. All right. Okay, so with this, I'm going to turn it over to our Senior Director of Grants and Contracts, Taiwan Finley, who will go over what would make you eligible to receive these. So we'll get closer to the phone so those on the phone can hear me, and I apologize if my back is to you guys in the back. But for the most part, these are our standard requirements. Particularly for this opportunity, though, we're looking for people who are serving children and youth in Baltimore City. They're going to serve after-school meals as a part of the OST program. Qualify as a nonprofit for a 501c3 status. If you don't have one, you can also be eligible if you have a fiscal agent that has a 501c3 status, and we will accept that. So if your organization doesn't qualify on its own. This underline one I'm going to clarify because we get a lot of questions about these, and I've gotten a couple of questions. Provide a copy of the organization's independently audited financial statements for the fiscal year end within the past 12 months. So again, if you yourself don't have any, because maybe your budget hasn't allowed it, if you have a fiscal agent, we will accept the fiscal agent's audited records. If your application that you're putting into us is less than $50,000, we will accept your 990. But anything that you're requesting $50,000 above must have audited financials either from the fiscal agent or from your organization. Is that clear? We've gotten a lot of questions about those. So the threshold is $50,000.
What if our audit not
Do you have one from 2018? So you're working on 2017?
Yeah.
So usually in those cases, we will accept the 2018 to date and then a full complete 2017. But we need to know that ahead of time before the deadline. And actually, please don't.
Can they be reviewed or do they have to be audited?
They have to be audited. So you printing down your payroll statement doesn't count for us just because it reconciles. Your general ledger reconciling doesn't count for us. It needs to be independently audited. So nothing internal. There couldn't have been your finance director, your internal accounting person could not have reviewed it. It needs to be independently reviewed.
But if it's a
No, fine.
if it's a third party, but it's just a review statement and not a full audited statement.
Depends on, because people define that differently. I would say if you have questions, email that to the funded partnership email and let us get that in front of our financial director right now, because what some people consider fully reviewed versus fully audited are two different things, is what we were coming out with. So I would suggest if you have questions, email it to us now and let us get that in front of the finance director. I'm going to also ask if you let me get through this, I'll pick all the questions at the end so that way everyone has an opportunity to see all the screens, because it might answer some of your questions as we're going along too. The other thing is a part of this application, we need you to upload a clear and concise budget that is also supported with a narrative. So it's not just enough for you to give us the numbers. When you upload your budget, make sure you explain and justify each line item as it pertains to the application. Like, for example, if you put the executive director is going to work on this proposal, that's great that you have an executive director, but why is that role necessary to this particular application function? Does that make sense? All right. And then one special condition for this, if you're submitting a collaborative proposal, we're asking that at least one partner be from Park Heights. Okay? You can move on, Jillian. If you're submitting a collaborative proposal, so right now, as an application, you can apply as an independent organization. But if you're going to jointly do an application with another person in here, someone else serving the community, we're asking that one of those partners at least be in Park Heights. Okay. Just for the Park Heights VLT, I should clarify that. All right. So then performance measures. Those on the phone, y'all still going good? You can hear me because I'm trying to move around so my butt's not in people's faces.
Yes. Yes.
Good. So performance measures, again, these are the minimum requirements for the proposal. As here at Family, you guys have probably heard we use the result-based accountability framework, RBA.
So the how much and how many, the number of students served, how well are you doing with that, the number of percentage of average daily attendance, which is typical for our OST programs, and then is anyone better off? So if you have any questions about that, again, I would suggest you email the funded partnership email, because then we'll make sure that gets to our D&E folks who can give you a more thorough answer than I can provide you at this time. Good morning.
Excuse me.
Yeah, just hold on 1 second, and then I'll take the calls, the people on the phone.
Thank you.
So the requirements is a little different. Normally, we ask that you submit the application via our grant management system called Funding Track. For this, we're actually providing you an application via SurveyMonkey. So you would just click on the link that's provided in the RFP and on the website, or if you saw it on social media, there should be a link in the actual document that you can click on and submit your application, and then it'll all be there. You can save it, so you don't have to, if you're working on it, you can save it and go back to it. You don't have to hit submit and then it comes to us and you submit multiple versions on it. So it does have a save feature. And again, applications are due by December 17th at 4 p.m. That is critical because we will not accept anything submitted even at 4:01, even if you call us, unless you're having challenges. So if you haven't started yet, I would suggest that you click on the link, make sure it's working for you. So if you're experiencing any technical difficulties, we can address those for you now, because it's really difficult at 3:59 to try to fix that for you on December 17th. Okay, so before I go on the timeline, there was a quick question on the phone about one of the slides.
Oh, I had a question about the providing meals through OST. Can you clarify what that means?
Ask questions. We're going to do a Q&A right at the end of all these slides, so if we can get through that, then we'll open it up for all those questions.
Okay, thanks.
And so just a key general deadline, the proposal applications, again, are due on the 17th. We'll take a couple weeks to review those, and we're hoping by mid-January to announce the award. So once you submit your proposal, it'll probably be about 30 days before you hear what the award announcements are. Go ahead. And so I'm going to move out the way for this one. But again, after today, none of our other Family League staff members can really take your questions, so that we can make sure there's no unfair advantage or biases given to anyone. So we ask that all other questions after today be directed to this email, and we will do our best to answer those questions within 24 to 48 hours. However, any questions asked today will be recorded, and this recording will be posted on the website. And any questions that are emailed to us, once we have the responses, will also be posted on the website. So you'll have the recording, and any questions that are emailed to us will also be posted on the website. So I think I'm done. I'll hand it back to Khalil unless you want to open up. I think it'll be joint.
All right, so there was a question online about food, snacks, food.
Meals at OST.
Hello?
Hello? Is that me? Yeah, I had a question about providing meals. Could you clarify? So does that mean you have to provide meals if you're an after-school program?
That is a great question. Generally, we require our OST programs to provide a snack or supper, but we also provide that food available, hot meals, good meals, not the kind of the school lunch meals. And I have applications available here today if you'd like to, whether your program meets once a week or 4 times a week or once a month, that you're eligible to sign up and be approved as a community-based provider of meals.
We're not able to get the proper health permit for food card. Is not acceptable, like we do through Family League? Okay.
Yeah. Yes, Ms. Truhart.
What about weekends? We've not had meals delivery in the past
On weekends? Let me make sure I can have someone who could speak intelligently to meal delivery on the weekend. Someone from our food access office will actually be coming in to deliver more of these applications, and we can make them available as well online. Oh, food delivery on weekends. So if you're having programming on the weekend, how will we arrange for food for this program to be delivered? When I say I have
program is 5-6 days a week, but kind of at
we find with regard to the issue of food security here in the city, particularly with older youth, they won't come to a program that let me feed you. They won't take a backpack home, probably for the social stigma of food. But what some of the researchers and our partners have found, that if you combine it with enrichment, that we will be able to feed young people who otherwise would not take what they deem as a handout or a meal. And so we encourage it to be enrolled, our programs to be enrolled in some type of food program or to offer snack and supper to make sure that that need is being met, even if it hasn't necessarily been.
So it's okay if you have a partnership with an outside vendor, right?
Yeah,
It's like, okay.
you're not forced to do this at all. I want to be fair. I saw her hand and then I'll come back.
I wanted to clarify with Ms. Taylor when she was talking about the independent audit. I just wanted to clarify that our audit, for example, is scheduled for this month that we're in now. This is late for us, so we can submit the FY 2018 audit, and we need to submit a letter stating, the FY 2017 audit. We need something from the auditor stating that the FY 18 is underway.